In today's world, we get too wrapped up in our anxiety over things in the past or what may come. What we need to do is we need to really let things go and learn how to do that. What we need to do is learn to be better in the moment. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer. I talk about these things with anxiety, depression because I've lived through it and now I teach it. Okay. So today's entry, I was really thinking heavily about this and about what I would need to do and how can I explain this. Too many of us get anxious over things that we could simply are not in our control and are really just not worth it. Like, is this shirt right? Will my boss like this? Will they not? You know, I was so anxious as a child that I was getting, there's a cat actually right outside this car that's kind of distracting me. This proves my point. I was so anxious as a child that I was told by doctors I would develop an ulcer and I would have stomach problems by the time I was 13. Well, they were wrong. I had stomach problems when I was 14. My esophagus grew out to the size of basically, you know, it was huge. It was huge. My esophagus, the very top of my stomach, grew out to the size of my chest. And I would get anxious over little things, over things at school, and particularly kids. I'm talking to you. I was bullied miserably almost all of my childhood. I had really bad times with kids. But now it's 35 years old, I realize that that was really nothing. And I should not have let that get to me. I mean, people made fun of my crossed eye. People made fun of my physical issues. When I was really super skinny, when I was really super fat, yada, 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 yada. It seems like the world is gonna crash. And let me tell you, kids, it is not. Anxiety is one of the easiest things in actuality to go ahead and cure. And it's not that you just don't have to care about anything that's around you, but you realize this one thing. Everything is temporary. Absolutely everything in this world. When you have something that is awful, it is going to end. When you have something that is awesome, it is going to end. Like, if you have, like, you know, and I'm making this for, you know, kids and teenagers. So, like, if you have that first date and it is going really well, that date is going to end and hopefully it ends really well and you have a second one. That's great. If not, all right, that was a bust, but you learned and you move on. We get afraid a lot. And I had this giant fear of water. When I almost a lot of my life, I didn't learn how to swim until I was 30. And I just couldn't do it. I had a friend of mine who passed away when I was young, and he died of a drowning accident. So I personally could not touch water. I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know what I could do. I personally just could not get it done. And I said to myself, I had enough. What lingered in my life for about 20-something years was a fear of water and, you know, playing around with people like my goddaughter, playing around with my wife at a beach, enjoying myself, enjoying a swim, which is really one of the most relaxing things in the world. I was fearful of it because it took a friend of mine. Now, going back at that time, that was an awful, awful, awful experience. However, it wasn't good. And again, it was temporary. It was a bad situation that took a good friend of mine away from me. However, I didn't want to give it any power from ruling my life anymore. So how do we go ahead and do this? Like, what do we do? How do we get rid of things, the anxiety over something? Number one, as we said, you want to make sure that anxiety is not apparent. You want to know that this anxiety is temporary. When you get anxious because you feel like it's going to be forever. It's not. Anxiety is temporary, and you're just going to sit there and go, all right, this is not going to last. This is not my forever. Like people who get claustrophobic and they're like, oh my God, it's really close in here. And you know, what do? Get out of that area. You get out of that area. So, okay, I'm not going to be here forever. And you know what? I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to say, all right, this feeling is only temporary and I'm going to have great things later on, and just roll through it. Evan Carmichael tells this really good story about, when he was on a plane and he had this really, really awfully smelly guy. And he shouted out in his own mind, like, this is the best. And you really want to tell yourself that this is the best. That's really step 2. The best things are yet to come, just like that Frank Sinatra song. Still, it's a real good bet. The best is yet to come. Best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? I won't torture you anymore with my singing, but the best truly is to come here. It is the best. You are constantly growing. You are awesome. Everything that you do at this point in your life, whether you have a fear or whether you're afraid, you've got to realize that you are going to be better in the future because of this. I had a very bad childhood with disabilities, but would I trade it anywhere? Would I trade all the bullying? No. I wouldn't trade. Do I want to stop bullying and want to make sure it's a thing of the past? Yes, I do. However, what I want to do is I want to be able to look at that and go, okay, they all made fun of me. You know what they usually said? My name is Nick. You know what the popular channel was on cable at the time? Nickelodeon. The biggest joke was, you have a name that's a childhood TV station. Nick. Like, that's all you got? And finally I turned to somebody and said that. They're like, yeah, it's funny. You're stupid. I'm like, that, you got nothing. All right, I'm done talking with you. I'll see you later. And they had no power at all anymore. And that was it. I gained a lot of confidence at that point, confidence in myself. Number 3. We talked about saying that it's the best. You know, this is the thing. You're going to learn to be able to grow forward. You're going to realize that things are not temporary. You have a plan now. You need to celebrate where you are. Talk to somebody like your tribe, or talk to somebody in your family or a close friend about what happened. Get their perspective on it, and they're going to see that it's temporary as well. You know, listen to their advice and listen really hard. You know, I would go tell my grandfather about it. He says, those boys are stupid. He was right, you know. No, but he's the cool kid. He's not going to be the cool kid when you get out of school. No, don't worry about it. You just go ahead and you do you, and others will follow, and you'll be fine. Because it's not going to be forever. Anxiety. It sucks, but you can do so much better years later. I want you to live a great life. Take this, share this with anyone you can. I hope you do. In the next video, if you want to see more about anxiety, click on this video right near my nose, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll see you there.